Can you explain your optimism for copper and any mines you're interested in? I don't know any specifics on that. That's really Chris McIntosh, his area of expertise. He's the other pro I have in Rebel Capital's pro, along with Lynn Alden. But copper, number one, is cheap. Dr. Copper is telling us that the economy is not going to be doing well. But so historically it's cheap, but you've got a lot of tailwind there. Man, you got a lot of tailwind in the sense that if California, let's say, bans gas-powered cars by, 2035, Gavin Newsom said, and he was just such a clown. But he was talking about 2035, so that means that you've got this whole move toward electric vehicles. So I'm not here to debate electric vehicles, but if that's the case, if we do that, go that direction, you're going to need a ton of copper. In fact, Chris did a study, I know, or he referenced a study that actually did the math on how much copper you would need to create that many electric vehicles. And it's like, I don't know what it was, but it was something outrageous, like 10 times the amount of copper that we use or have right now. So demand would just go through the roof if you believe that narrative and if you think that's the direction we're going. So, and then you've got the stagflation tailwind that if we do see the 1970s play out, which I think is a high probability if the system changes and the Federal Reserve just completely ignores the Federal Reserve Act, which I think they're more than happy to do. I think that March and April have shown us how willing they are to completely ignore the law and the spirit of the law, by the way, and just do what they think needs to be done in order to prop up the asset bubbles, the everything bubble, because they know how important that is to the consumer and therefore how important it is to the overall economy. So, that means a lot of money printing, and that means trying to get M2 money supply up along with velocity. Now, whether they can do it or not, a lot of people would argue they can't, because you look at Japan. But I'm someone that argues that they probably learned from the Japanese experience and the European experience, and they're going to print enough money to get it done. That's what I think long term. So that would also be a huge tailwind to copper. So if you believe that the Fed is going to continue to just print crazy amounts of money and do QE infinity forever, and that they're somehow going to circumvent the transfer mechanism of the commercial banking system. So in other words, as Dr. Lacey Hunt would say, turn bank reserves into legal tender. I think that's what they'll do. And then, or if you believe that the future is going to be electric vehicles, then I think you got to be bullish copper, and it's cheap.